your courage. You have my admiration and my respect. So I have confidence in your health. You have my admiration and my respect.
Wait, don't go. I mean, about your being lonesome. Other people are lonesome, too. So lonesome, I almost gave up waiting. They said I was crazy, but I knew all the time. Way deep in my heart, I knew that someday, somehow, someone like you, I knew you'd come.
Right. Well, wish me luck, everybody. Apparently just got to follow. I missed that. Apologies. Whoever that was. Right. Well, I've got something very different today. It feels weird not having my headphones on while I'm streaming. So as you probably may not know, depends on what you use. Echo. Oh shoot, Echo. You're right. Okay. Give me a sec. Let me check my other ones. Hello. 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 There we go. Hello. Okay. I knew that there's always going to be something that I miss. So yeah, not much I can really do about that. But okay, so all my scenes are fine now. That was a bit of a sneak preview. Oh gosh. Okay. This is normally something that I do over many hours, just on the evening while I'm doing other stuff as well, or watching YouTube, listening to YouTube. So I've got my main webcam up here, which is purely just for me, obviously being vain. I've got my other camera set up over here, which doesn't have. Do I collect GPUs? Yeah, a bit. Yeah, I can show you some of them if you want. Maybe another day. I've got my other camera up here to record the screen, because I don't have really a good way of recording the screen, especially if I want to do some games testing in, or 1 or 2 games in 4K. So just that to bear in mind. I could have done it a bit differently, but I didn't want to affect performance in any way. So this is like the purest way for me to do it, and it's a bit more hands-on today, which is quite nice as well. And I also have my GoPro set up to be used as a webcam if I want to show something specific, which may happen, may not happen, but try to be prepared for every eventuality. When I was trying to do some videos before, I had a bit of an issue where I was using my wireless microphone, but it just kept running out of battery, and that was really annoying. So potentially my GoPro and my other camera could run out of batteries, but I've got 3 spares for the GoPro, which I won't need, and I've got 2 spares for the main camera, which I may well need, but it depends how long we go. I should get about an hour out of that one before I change the battery. But yes, just for reference, if you like, behind me I've got a GTX 460, which is a WinForce edition one. I've got a GTS 880. No, 8800. That's right, not 880. What else have I got there? I can't tell. Let me have a look. I've got the GTX 275, GTX 480, and the GTX Titan in there. The only one that doesn't work out of all of them is the Titan. It's just for show, and currently have 2 in front of me, and then I also have one in the retro build, which is a 690, which I'm planning on doing a video on at some point. So I won't spoil that one, talk about that one too much, because we are here today to have a look at the 2 cards in front of me, which I guess I should probably turn the GoPro on and show you. Now, with any luck, we should be golden, but we'll see. Okay, there we go. GoPro. Very nice. Inception. Streamception. Okay. So, let's have a look. So here we've got kneecaps. Move that up. So here we've got the GTX 1080. This is like Blair Witch Project, isn't it? All except the Titan and the 460 are better than mine. Okay, what do you have? The 480 is better, if the 460 is better. Anyway, okay, so yeah, we've got a GTX 1080. So I took this apart. God, the delay is pretty bad on this, isn't it? Anyway, well, it's too late now. We are where we are. So yeah, the 1080 has obviously got very nice backplate on, and about 18 million screws. So I did take this one apart and applied fresh thermal paste to it. An RX 580. No. The RX 580 is pretty good. It's better than Titan. The RX 580. In terms of raw game performance. Only just, but I think it's got less VRAM though, which is the only other thing. Oh, it's faulty. Oh, okay. Right, yeah. Oh, okay. No. Well, that's fine then. I guess if you're having to underclock it or something to get it to work, then yeah, okay, fair enough. Should still be much better than the GTX 480. But anyway, yeah. So I have repasted this, and did I test it? I did test it, and it worked. It still works. So I didn't break it. So that's the main thing. And then we've got the new card, which is due to go to its new home next week. So I am sort of trying to push to get it done. I thought it might be cool to do a live stream on it because I don't normally share this sort of stuff. It's just something, like I say, I do in my own time. And I don't really know what there is too much to say about the RTX 2060 Ti. It's very nice. It's very dense. There's not a lot of like coverage, as in like just like cover it or wasted space, which I'm pretty keen on. I also like the fact that the boards are a lot smaller on these 30 cards, which is quite nice, especially for like water cooling and stuff. Which is one of the reasons I really was very, very keen. I really wanted to get a 3080 Founders Edition. Unfortunately, I didn't, but I'm very happy with what I've got. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, that would be cool to water block, because you can basically cut it off about here. It's quite a small footprint, which is probably like, I'm trying to think what AMD card did that. Was it like the Fury or the Fury X? One of those that had like a really small footplate. You know what I mean? Footprint is the word I'm looking for. So yeah, that's about it really in terms of how they look, but still quite happy with that. So that's basically what I'm using the GoPro for, if and when I need to. Have I turned it off? I think I've crashed it. Off you go. Oh no! Anything that can go wrong will go wrong. That's what they say, isn't it? I hit the record button. There we go. That'll be why. It was trying to do hyperlapse mode or whatever it's called. Okay, I'm just going to leave the GoPro. So yeah, so we'll be starting with the GTX 1080. I should probably talk about the system, the test bench system. And in fact, I was actually meant to make a little thing to pop up to go through it, but well, I missed it. So there you go. Right, we're going to start with the 1080, and then hopefully get high, or almost certainly get higher scores with the 3060. But this is all I have, so we're going to use what I've got. So I'll move over to the benchmark sheet. So this is like my normal suite, which is not really intended for high end ones at all. So we're gonna go. Should have made that capital. Why would numlock not be on? It should always be on. GT, yeah, GT 1080. That's the new one. So for both, we've got the 5800X. Obviously, I don't know why I put GPU column in there, but anyway, point is, so we've got 32 gigabytes of 3600 megahertz, and that is CL15 spreadsheet simulator time. So I'm not going to be looking at all of these. I'm just going to pick a couple to do that are interesting. So I always do Left 4 Dead, although that could be that could be quite funny, I guess, to do, but still. We'll have a look at the Shogun 2 bench. Will we have a look at the Shogun 2? I'll probably switch that out actually for Three Kingdoms. I'd have thought Doom we can do, Shadow of War we can do, GTA 5, Final Fantasy 15, Metro 2033. I'm probably gonna do Exodus, and that's because I want something to test the RTX score, the ray tracing. Sorry, for the 3060 Ti. I know the 1080 can't do it, but for that, and probably won't do The Witcher. Probably do something else in its stead. I would have thought, but we'll add that to the end. In terms of 3D Mark, we will do Fire Strike, Time Spy, and I will also do get rid of these, Port Royal as well for the 3060 Ti. So I hide these ones because I'm not actually that bothered about CPU because it's going to be the same. So that's fine. So I'm just going to copy these. If it'll just let me straight copy over, yep. Copy that, hide it. This will be Exodus. All right, and then oh yeah, Port Royal as well. Take it, it's like that. I don't know, like the burger. In any case, yeah. Which obviously, once again, GTX 1080 can't run, so that's fine. But that gives us, you know, a few to go through, which is nice. Yeah, there's too much else to say, really. To be honest, I think we're about there. So yeah, now spreadsheet simulator's out of the way. I will very quickly install the GTX 1080. First, probably for completeness' sake, where we'll show the test bench itself, or test computer. It was a bench at one point. Well, actually, it was a mat. But yeah, notwithstanding. We do have the 12-pin connector for the 3060, which I'm not really keen on this whole 12-pin rubbish. But anyway, they think they know what they're doing, so I have to bow to their judgment. Okay, so have I got the length? Oh, just about. So yeah, so this is the test bench. We'll have it with the door closed as well. Not that will necessarily help thermals that much, but it's not a mini ITX motherboard. You can see, well, everything in there really. We've got a 280mm rad, push-pull on one of them because I had an extra fan, so I just put it all in there. And yeah, that's about it. It is running on a riser, although it is a B450 motherboard anyway, so we wouldn't get. Excuse me. So we wouldn't get Gen 4 speeds for the 3060 anyway. So I guess, you know, take that into consideration for all of this. But, you know, a 3060 Ti, would you necessarily, you know, have a Gen 4 slot on your motherboard? Maybe, perhaps not. Yeah, that's about it. So I'm just going to disconnect it like this and then hope that works fine. Right, okay. Beautiful. So we'll stick this in and begin. We should have had some background music, elevator music, top 10 track. Screwdriver is over there. Right, up and away. So if you're curious, this light in the bottom corner is actually a screen which I put in to do diagnostics, not diagnostics, the analytics from the computer. You know, temperatures and stuff. Oh wow, I'm running at a lovely less than 1080p. Okay, so we'll go to the PC cam, which is slightly off now for some reason. Okay, I'll adjust that. What's happened then? Why have you gone down again? Oh, now it's too high. Okay. Still drops. It always drops a little bit. That's bizarre. Anyway, so we're in now. I think we've gone back to 4K. So I will for the benefit of myself and everybody else, you can still see my face, which admittedly would put me off. So I'll close down IDA 64. That's for the other one, and we'll whack it up to, I guess, like 200. Okay, yeah. So I'm not sure what to start with. I guess let's check to make sure the keyboard's working. It is. So I guess we'll probably start with the 3D Mark ones. I think that's probably a good starting place. This screen is so shiny, by the way. I wasn't expecting it to. I thought once we had an image up on the screen, it'd be a lot better, but clearly not. I wonder if I've got any more brightness, volume. Maybe that's not so great. Oh no, we're already at top brightness. Okay, have I just turned it off? Oh, there we go. Now I've turned it off. And now we're way out of focus as well. Lovely. Okay. Right. I could zoom in a little bit more, I suppose. We'll see how it goes. Right. So to start off with, I'm going to go with Firestrike, I think. So I normally use the normal Firestrike score. This one. But we could try Ultra. I mean, I think that's probably more apt. Apologies for the flicker, that's horrendous. So we'll go into Msi Afterburner just to go through the settings. Oh, it's not even picked up the 1080 because I had the 3060 in before. Okay, well, let's ask NVIDIA, see what NVIDIA wants to tell me. Drivers, you know what? Maybe we'll reinstall the driver, I guess, and go from there. I should have probably checked this beforehand. Originally, I was going to do the 3060 first, but I thought if we do that, it might end disappointingly. Whereas, sort of hoping that it's got going to be the way, you know, the 3060 is going to basically beat the 1080 all the time, which is what I'm expecting. But I guess we'll find out. Guardians of the Galaxy game? No, thank you. I'm not really fussed if it's got DLSS or whatever. If it's a poor game, it's not going to make any difference. So I am going to apply a small overclock to the 1080. Just what I would do, or what I have found from using it. So nothing too out of the ordinary. Gosh, that is tiny. That's a tiny screen. And for the 3060, all I'm going to do is I'm going to up the power limit to give it the best chance as well. I'm going to go 125 on the core, and I'm going to want to go 175 on the memory. Don't really want to sort of test and retest overclocks. If it fails, I will resort back to just space with a. I'm not sure what the on-screen display is going to say because I've probably not configured it correctly, but we'll turn it on anyway. Okay, let's go for the 4K one. Yeah, if it fails, I'm just going to leave the 1080 at just the power limit increase, and that's it. I don't really get why I necessarily have the flickering. It's 60. This is 60 Hz, and the camera's 60 Hz as well. Maybe they're just not quite syncing up. Oh, an error occurred. Well, that was quick. Oh, okay. Is it? Okay, we'll go out and go back in. Might be because I just installed the drivers, and when it's done its checks, something's not matched up. Either that or the overclock doesn't work. In the computer, I've got an 850 watt power supply, so we're fine wattage wise. CPU is, to be fair, I did mess around with the CPU yesterday, so maybe I've done something there. Oh no, don't include demo. Why? I don't want to include the demo. Well, I hope it doesn't work now. Yeah, I think it might have failed from collecting system info. I think it might have misread something. So we could always try a reboot if we get any issues. Especially if it doesn't like boot. Oh, okay. Yeah, you load it now. Now we've got the demo. Gosh. Okay. Standard. This happens to me all the time, by the way. I guess I should probably turn off GeForce Experience as well, but... Oh no, it's got 1080 up there. 1080 every single blooming core as well for the 5800X. Oh, is it 32 megahertz RAM? Maybe it's 3200 megahertz, not 3600. I'll put it on the lowest, but if it gets too annoying, let me know. I'll turn it off. This is chugging. Absolutely chugging. I know it's the 4K one, but way sub 30 FPS. Ooh. I'll be honest with you, because I've never really ran the TimeSpy Ultra. I don't know what I was expecting. I mean, this one is always pretty tight anyway. But oh, the overhead slash. I forget how long this demo is as well. I'm up to 85 degrees on the 1080. 86. I'm getting concerned now. I have to adjust the fan curve. Thing is, I can hardly hear it. It should be absolutely blowing the house down. Yes, Firestrike Ultra. I actually thought we'd do better. Naive. That's what I am. Naive. Some bits doesn't look too bad, even though the FPS is so low. But this is a freshly pasted 1080, by the way. We're dropping down really low, below 1900 megahertz now, as it tries to throttle itself back. Why not just increase the fan speed? I don't get it. Nvidia sets such weird parameters on how they do their fan curves. It's beyond me. You know. But then I would favour the megahertz over the noise. So here we go. The actual test now. That means the 3060 is going to have to do the same demo to make it fair, but it won't get as hot as that. Not from my very small amount of testing that I've done so far. So it will do a lot better in these ones. It's because that last one is the combined test, and that one can be a bit more tricky. Yeah, it's still running at 81 degrees. We're down to 1886 megahertz. So ideally, with the 1080, in my opinion anyway, you want anything that's over 1900. It's going to give you a good score for GTX 1080. I got some really good results with the RTX 3060 Ti. So I'm hoping we'll get a bit of a replication of that. I literally only tested one thing on it, so that was Port Royal actually. So I was interested to see how it would do with something that's designed for ray tracing. That was the big one for me. So this one's doing quite well. I mean, we're still sub 30 naturally, but it feels a lot smoother. And we'll get the physics test after this, which is purely CPU bound. So that should be the same for both. The 5800X is pretty decent. I've got it. It was running quite hot previously, which I was a bit concerned about, but I never really sort of needed to make it quiet, I guess. But when I was thinking about doing the stream, I wanted to get the fans as low as possible. So it might be running a little bit toasty, but what I've done is I've used PBO 2, which is like a dynamic voltage regulator for the CPU, and I've got it at an offset of minus 25 megahertz, which should hopefully keep the same performance, but drop the temps by a fair amount. And I've had like a 10 degree delta, so it's well worth doing and messing around with. There's plenty of guides online for that, by the way, if you've got a Ryzen 3000 and 5000 CPU. I would definitely recommend doing it. I've done it on my main computer as well, and it's worked pretty much the same. So this is the combined test. So this is more like the demo. We are getting 1949 megahertz, 1911 megahertz. So yeah, if I could find a way to get the 1080 to maintain over 1900, it would produce some really good scores. But the problem is, it's just not the cooling on the Founders Edition cooler, which is the problem. So what did we get? So we got a 5564, which is just below whatever an average for this one is, which is a bit of a shame, I think, because I think it would probably have done a bit better if we didn't have the demo first. Give it not so it didn't peak quite so high with the temps. But I will capture that as an official score in the spreadsheet. Oh no, I forget which mouse I'm using. Yeah, so that's going to be for Firestrike, which is 5564 for the 1080. I've got to remember I better put demo, hadn't I? Oh wow. Yeah. So I'll remember to do the same thing when we come to the other one. Okay, back to PC Cam. So we'll do. Oh yeah, it's Ultra as well. It's Firestrike Ultra, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, that's fine. Everything's blooming tiny. We are set to. Yeah, we are set to an auto fan curve, which is a bit of a pain. Oh, what a time. Everyone tries to interrupt the stream with phone calls. I don't normally get phone calls, by the way. This is an oddity. Right. So I've just checked. It is on NVIDIA's fan curve. So I'll keep the 3060 on NVIDIA's fan curve as well. Usually, if I was doing this to make a video, whatever, I would set my fan curve at this point and go, it's running a bit toasty for my overclock. But yeah, I think with a water block, the GTX 1080 would be. I reckon you could push around the 6000 mark for sure, easily if it's water cooled. Okay, so I guess we'll do Time Spy Extreme as well. I mean, we're on that theme. 4K one's difficult, I guess, though. Maybe we'll just do normal Time Spy. We'll do normal Time Spy. I'll put in the note here. Oh, yeah. put in the stuff for the 3060 as well. Ti. So that was our DX11 benchmark, effectively. This one is the DX12 for Time Spy. And then, well, Port Royale won't run on this computer, so the 1080 is going to get a DNF, unfortunately. I do have another one as well, which is here. You get to see my face for half the screen. The benchmark spreadsheet for the other half, and then, well, yeah, the PC for that one. So probably use that when we're going through the 3060 results, I thought. But anyway. So I quite like the Time Spy one, how it's got a load of references in for various other benchmarks as well. Like back there you had the airship, which is similar to, I think anyway, I don't know, similar to the Heaven benchmark. You've then got you've obviously got the crystal formation in here, which is from, where's the crystal one from? Oh, the crystal one's from Time Spy. What am I on about? It has the weapons, I think, from, oh no, it's got a little diorama from Firestrike. I think it's got the one, what was it, the DX8 one with the DX7 one. Yeah, the guy in the machine gun. I think that's in here somewhere as well. But yeah, lots of different callbacks to various things, which I'm quite a big fan of, that sort of thing. Yeah, there you go. You got the one from I don't know if that's Cloudgate or Slingshot. They all look very similar. Slingshot being the mobile benchmark one as well. But they all share like similar share a similar theme, I guess. Especially the more modern ones. But yeah, going around the museum, I don't know if that is actually from the Call to the Heaven one, but it looks similar. Another benchmark that I quite like is the Superposition. What's he got? He's got a blooming alien gun. Yeah, is the Superposition benchmark. I think that's a cool but taxing one. You can definitely see all the elements at play there. And in many ways, actually, I think I prefer it to the 3D Mark, but 3D Mark's got its whole entire suite, which makes it much easier, much more compatible with looking at various things. Is that an alien from All Humans Must Die? I know, all aliens look the same, really, but alien with his horse. Very nice. What temperature are we up to? 87. Oh, 87, but holding at 1911 megahertz. Oh no, just dropped below. We were holding at 1911 megahertz. So yeah, the key to your benchmark results will be your core clock, really, mainly. Of course, CPU test is a CPU test, but I mean, this one's quite a good one. Doing pretty well, to be fair, on this. Don't think we're going to drop below 30, even with all the physics going on. God, it struggles to get in and out of focus there, doesn't it? While we move through. Right, what are we up to? Oh, not too bad. Better than average on that one, since we didn't have the demo. But yeah, so we're sort of just over the curve of median, which is you know, as I would expect for a moderate overclock. So we'll head over and add that one in. 8146. Port Royal obviously won't work, but we'll go to that one. Okay, I don't think it should run. You're going to tell me now that you can't run. If it runs, I'll be very surprised, because we've got no RT cores. Not even one. you know you should be a YouTuber. You can keep conversation with yourself really well, which most YouTubers can't do. Reason some of them do skips in videos, like a full-on YouTube vid. Oh, okay. Endorphin. Funny thing. Funny you should say that. I have a YouTube channel as well. Which, why is this loading? I didn't think this would load. Am I wrong to think that Port Royal? Oh, it's Royal, not Royale, by the way. But I didn't think this. It's going to run at like 3 FPS though, surely. Even less, maybe. Well, we keep the. I'm waiting for the suspense of it all. Blimey now, it's going. What's it going at? 7 FPS. You know what? Even though the RTX 3060 is going to completely destroy this, I'm actually impressed that it's even running. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a glorified slideshow now, but goodness me, I hit 10 FPS. I don't. Okay, well, look, I'm wrong. I thought it wouldn't work. I wonder if that means we can do the Metro Exodus RTX benchmark as well, because if we can, that will be really. That's gonna be really painful, though. By the way, I also hope I have it installed. Oh gosh. Okay, we might not be able to do Metro Exodus. Might have to pick a different RTX game, whatever I've got installed on this computer. Yeah. So. Endorphin, I'm more sit on YouTube. This stream right now is streamed on YouTube and on Twitch as well. I don't know why I there. No point. I already know what I was going to say. That's my biggest issue. I do a lot. Sometimes for no reason, which is a bit annoying. In any case, yes. So lots of stuff on there. Unbelievable amount of stuff on there. Why you would want to watch 99.9% of it, I have no idea. But yeah, all the streams as well are archived on there. All the Skyrim stuff as well, which I know you've been in for a lot of anyway, so you're well up to date with that. But I wonder what, it didn't give me the metrics, but I can imagine that was probably pushing the 1080 pretty hard. To be fair, I don't even know what score we're going to get. Are you going to give me a score? Oh, people regularly do test the 1080 with Port Royal, do they? Okay, slightly below average, but yeah, okay. All right, fair enough. So 1754. Okay, there you go then. That's the 3D Mark results done. I will just have a very quick check on my Steam account, see what games I've actually got from this. Do I have Metro Exodus installed? Oh, I do. Okay, so we can do Metro Exodus. That's fine. Do I have Three Kingdoms installed? Which is the one I was going to switch out for. I do, but it needs an update. Okay, well, I'll update that while we're streaming. Why not? Live life to the fullest. Better stop the Rocket League update, though. Yeah, all right. Three Kingdoms, going for it. Okay, that's fine then. There's a couple of others I would have potentially liked to do, but I guess we'll leave them for now. So, we'll save Metro Exodus till last, because I think that's probably the best way around for that. We will use a benchmark next, which a lot of people don't like, and I understand that a lot of people don't like it, and it is what it is. But I am a fan of user benchmark. So if you run user benchmark and you are using Msi Afterburner, remember to turn off the on-screen analytics, because that will make your graphics benchmark crash. Which and when it first happened to me, had absolutely no idea what was going on. But there you go. So this will run. It's going to run. It runs the whole system, which does mean we'll be able to tell if there's any major discrepancy in CPU score, which might lead us to have to rerun it again. Sometimes, you know, it is good for these benchmarks to run them 2 or 3 times as well, especially on the, not so much on the synthetic ones, I would say, but probably definitely more on the, if you're doing actual live game benchmarks, because yeah, that is a factor. We're going to be also using Cap Frame X as well to be able to directly compare frame times as well. It's one of my preferred ways of doing it in any case, because something that we tend to overlook it a bit, I guess. I mean, Digital Foundry's much better at that sort of stuff than pretty much anyone else who does the benchmarks and that sort of stuff. With the actually like show the frame times in real time, but I suppose it's definitely the way that they structure their graphics card reviews that helps. So usually one of them plus Digital Foundry plus Gamers Nexus, I guess, sort of gives you a good indication. I don't know why they added this mini game. It's to cover up all the verification and just, well, the sustained rights that it does, which I understand, but I have no interest in playing a shooting mini game halfway through. But then there you go. I guess someone must have asked for it at some point, and they thought, yeah, it's a good idea. Okay, lovely. So for this, I'm going to be recording the overall gaming score. So that's this number here, which you can probably just about see. Maybe not. I'll zoom in. In fact, I'll make it full screen as well. No? Oh, yeah. Ooh, too big. Yeah, so 123 for gaming. I'll add that one in. And this does sort of give you a bit of an overall score as to the other components. And 111 for the graphics. So not too, I don't know how that fits in. That's probably about average, I would have thought, for the 1080. I think. Let's have a look. So, okay, not bad. The 5800X is doing incredibly since I used PBO2. Which, by the way, like I say, if you got Ryzen 3000 or 5001, look it up. Well worth doing. Keeps it much cooler as well. And with the small overclock and obviously no additional cooling, we are above expectation as well. So not too bad. We're about, I mean, probably gather that from the 3D Mark stuff anyway. We're about where we should be. Don't know what's going on with my NVMe drive, but 156 is fine. Yeah, that's fine for my game drive. And then, oh, it is 3600. Okay. Well, there you go. CL15 3600. Which is very nice because it was originally a CL15 3000 kit, which if you are interested, I do have a video on YouTube for that one as well, where I went through the dual rank stuff when I was trying to see what impact that would have. But anyway, that's fine. So we've got that score. This doesn't really get exciting until the second half of the video, so I appreciate that might be a thing. Okay, we'll go through, we'll do Final Fantasy 15 benchmark, I guess. That one is, it's not too long. We're going to do high quality. Because I like to mix things up a little bit, I think we'll go for 1440p. I personally, my opinion is that if you're buying a 3060 Ti, it's probably not for 4K. It's probably not for, Anyway, getting stuck there. More for 1440p or a really high frame rate 1080p solution. So I'm just going to write in here that we're doing it 1440p so I remember, otherwise I will forget. Oh, I also haven't set up this either, which is not going to do me any favors. I think I might have upset it. Okay, well, we'll wait then. we will... okay, there we go. I think I've lost connection. No. Ah. No. Stop it. Stop it. Do as I tell you to do, computer. Okay, there we go. So I'll stop the benchmark while I set up this thing as well. So the great thing about... I know a lot of people won't use this in the same way that I do, but you can allow it to automatically populate your key system info, and then that then comes up on here as well. So as you can see, you probably actually can't see because it's not clear enough, but the last ones I ran were for the 660 Ti on there, which is where I got all the info from that video from. Once again, that's on YouTube if you want to watch it. That was actually not a horrendous video either. That was okay, that one. So here it does use the Reaver Tuner stuff, which is nice because it's quite familiar. So F11 is to start my capture. We'll test it out on this one then and see how it goes. Okay, lovely. So that is absolutely tiny in that screen, but then it is running at 1440p, of course, but I'll be keeping an eye on the... Oh, I just put it into... Okay, I'm not convinced that it actually caught it there. So I think because F11 puts it into windowed mode, so it took it as that rather than as the start capture. I used to have a little thing on the bottom to tell me when it was capturing, but I've clearly not set that up. I've moved beyond it, apparently. I want to click F11 for again. Once again, something that I... Oh, hotkey sound. Yes, there we go. Much better. What's the least offensive key? Subtract. Okay, all right, there we go. Didn't know you could do that. That's pretty nice. You want to add your own sound in there. I don't know if this is running... Oh, it says it's running at 1440p now. So now I've got to try and do it exactly the same time. This is one of the issues that I have with this benchmark. I can't see anything now either. 1924 megahertz. So yeah, fine. Oh no, sorry, I moved in the view then. I don't want to mess around with the camera too much, but yes, there we go. So I do have a controller for when we're going to be. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of a play with Left 4 Dead, which I know is like a bit of a meme at this point, but I love it. So I've gone with my very old, very worn out Xbox One controller, which I decided to modify and made it infinitely worse. But if you like the Turtles, then yeah, it's more of a Donatello themed one. But nevertheless, it is what it is. That's what I'll be using. It could have been better. I learned a lot from it, to be fair. Tearing down the controller and adding in the new buttons and bumpers and whatnot. But yeah, we've got the... Where'd the sound just go? Oh no, okay, sound stopped anyway. Yeah, so doing the Final Fantasy 15, 1% low, and the average, which we'll get from the capture software anyway. I have to hope that the 3060 records in exactly the same way. We'll see. Then we've got GTA 5, which is benchmark as well. The stuff that is the benchmark is generally a bit easier to do. We've got Shadow of War, which is benchmark as well, and then Doom and Left 4 Dead, which you have to watch me play a couple of minutes of it. Don't worry, I can speedrun Mercy Hospital now, though, on Left 4 Dead. I've done it that many times. Metro Exodus is also a benchmark as well. So, yeah, not too bad. We'll probably do, assuming I've got Shadow of War installed, we'll do that one next, I think. That's a relatively short one, but can be quite punishing at times. We'll try and do most of this stuff at 1440p. I might do Left 4 Dead at 4K. Just because. And I think if we don't, I'm going to struggle. That's the only problem. I can't even tell how well or not well this is doing at the minute. What are we up to? 63 FPS. So yeah, more than playable at 1440p. I don't know whether the 3060 would be able to run it at 4K or not at 60, but we'll see. I was a bit disappointed really with Final Fantasy 15. I think it could have been, as someone who's a big fan of Final Fantasy, I think it could have been a lot better. It did a lot of stuff quite well, but missed a trick on many aspects, like the summons, for example. Although Final Fantasy haven't done summons right since probably 10. I mean, they're okay in 12, but since 10 realistically. I don't see why this could have been good, because the summons are actually really impactful now, rather than from Final Fantasy 13, but they only literally come when you're struggling. Which is nice, it's a bit of a get out of jail free card in a way. But I would have preferred to have the ability to invoke them, or even to do like some side quests where you unlock the power to do so if you gain like full affinity with Shiva or whatever, and it's got like a day cooldown, or I don't know how you would do that really in the game, but you know, something like that. I would have much preferred. But the score's pretty good. If you're thinking about, if you want to know how the scoring for this game is produced, effectively it just takes an average frame rate. Oh, why have you... Come on, camera. Whoop. It just takes an average frame rate. So it's the... So the 0 would be like in the hundreds of frames per second, and then we're at the minute we're at 55 average compared to the whole run. So we'll get over 60 overall. Probably get to about 61, 62, I guess. I haven't watched this benchmark many times. Might be a bit higher actually. But anyway, over 60, so it will pass this benchmark. I think that's how it runs, unless it does 30. I can't remember now. One or the other. Anyway. And there's your nice little folded crepe with egg and something else in. 62. Okay. Oh, gosh. I need a different hobby. All right. Yeah. So high. So yeah, it passed basically. Well, that's fine. So we'll add that to. Oh no, I won't add that. Oh, I suppose I could just do it that way, couldn't I? Yeah. Well, for this one, then we'll just add the. I forgot to hit. It's annoying. Trying to talk and think at the same time. Impossible. So effectively, let me move over back to PC cam mode. I'll put this full screen. It might be not going to be that much easier to see. But in any case, so that will give us a scoring for Final Fantasy, which we can have a look at. So it gives us this graph here, which is our frame times. So we had a bit of a spike here towards, well, the first third of the game. I think that's when they were going fishing, looking at it. But we had an average of 62.1, like I say, that links up to the score it was giving me, and then a 0.1 of 29.1. So there's quite a big variance there. It's because of these peaks and the small stutter, and obviously the longer you do the recording, you know, if you're benchmarking gameplay or whatever, that then becomes a lot smaller part of the pie. It'll probably only be like a tiny line if it's just that one little issue. So it does tell us that our CPU load went up to 100% in the game, which I do find pretty interesting actually. The average was only 52 though, which probably makes more sense. We are GPU bound, but you actually get the chance to see that. We're drawing about 68 watts on the CPU as well, which is quite interesting. And the average clock was 1924, which is pretty decent for the 1080. That's, like I say, anything over 1900, if you can maintain that, is where you want to be. 186 draw watts on the GPU as well, up to 86 degrees. Yeah, not surprised. And we used just about, nearly 6.5 gig of the 8 gig we've got in total, but that's not gospel by any stretch of the imagination. Then we get an FPS chart, which is a bit more all over the shop, and we get an L graph as well. But this stuff is a lot more pertinent once we start comparing. For now, it's just a set of data, effectively. So we'll cross that off and move on to the next one, which is going to be Shadow of War if it's installed. Are you installed, Shadow of War? Yes, you are. Okay. So I'm thinking the same thing. We'll run this one at 1440p as Steam crashes. Okay, there we go. And I'm not sure. I guess we'll run it. I won't run it ultra. I'll run it on very high. I think ultra is a bit of a silly one for Shadow of War. You don't really get anything extra out of it, and it just it's crushing. It's not the way I would run it. Oh. Reboot. Okay. You dislike Shadow of War that much, do you? I wonder why. All I know is I don't have the answer, but we'll just try again. Okay, yeah, we've still got the same overclocking settings, that's fine. Not a problem. If it does it again, I'll revert the overclock back. I think it might actually be working this time. We'll see. Weird that it would just reboot when it was trying to connect the video signal. Okay, so we'll check the options first before we set out. So 1080p, yeah, we'll run it at 1440p. VSync off, that's key. Dynamic resolution off as well. We'll go very high. Oh. Okay, I knew this would happen at some point. So my battery's run out on my other camera. Good timing though, because I hadn't started the benchmark. Be back in a sec. You know what? I missed out on a trick there. I should have had a technical difficulties, please stand by screen that I could just flick to when inevitably we dropped it. Okay, there we go. I've zoomed it in a little bit more as well to try and get a bit more of the screen in. Maybe if I just tilt it. Okay, that's a little bit better. So run the benchmark, see how it does. Not actually a massive fan of this benchmark for Shadow of War. I much prefer the Shadow of Mordor one. Mainly because this one's a lot more intensive than the Shadow of Mordor one. I'll tell you what though, my experience is if you want to really benchmark an overclock setting, do it with Shadow of Mordor, because that will tell you whether you have a stable overclock or not. It does not mess around. And many of my overclocks that have been fine on everything else have not been fine on Shadow of Mordor. Whether you need that information or not, who knows. I hope I started the capture software as well. I can't remember. We will soon find out, although we do get a score from at the end of this anyway, or metrics at the end of this, which we can use. Gosh, whenever you're ready, game. You load in those mad textures. Must be. There we go. We know it worked. So for this, I'm anticipating over 60 on very high. It would be much lower on ultra. I've said that now. I've said that we're dropping like a stone. So this does like an accumulative FPS reading. So if you're above the average, it will go up. The moving average. If you're below the moving average, the FPS number will go down. It does tend to go up a fair bit toward the end. You usually gain a couple of FPS. So I don't know if that bit's a little bit less, intensive, I suppose. If you can get to here, you generally maintain where you are. There's only sort of another drop in the benchmark. I think it's when this statue collapses. Okay, no, we hold. And there we go. At the big boss man. 73 apparently. Well, yeah, it goes up a little bit with the black screen, of course. So that gave us a max of 310. I don't know where that was from. Probably right at the end. And a low of 39. So not bad actually. I'm quite impressed with that. From the 1080. That is a very competitive benchmark score. But anyway, we'll come out of it. I guess we'll chalk the crash to an anomaly. It's not happened again. But we'll keep an eye on it. So once again, we're going to the analysis. So average for Shadow of War was, I better put 1440p, very high. 1%. Oh, it's 1% lower capture, not the 0.1%, but that's 55.5. An average of 70.6. So if you want to know what a good benchmark result looks like, it's not this flashing screen that's going on, but it is these figures. I know obviously you'd want the 1% and 0.1% low to be over 60 really in an ideal world, but these are fairly close, and even your sort of 95% score is sort of within tolerance as well. Everything's smooth, which is nice. Let's have a look at the actual FPS. Yeah, it's pretty consistent. You get a little bit of a uptick here. Pretty sure that's where the statue is. But in any case, and then you've got the bit at the end which always makes the FPS look a bit better than it would otherwise. But that's pretty good. That's what the card can do effectively. Got building works going on, so that allowed. Right. What's the next one then? Doom, Left 4 Dead. Could do one of them. Could do either of those. Doom. Shall we do Doom? Yes, go on then. Let's do Doom. Oh, I don't know. Download to my machine, I guess. So generally, I just pick a arcade mode one to go on, play it for a few minutes. That's generally how we do the benchmarking. Obviously, it'd be the same one for both cards. That's the key part, just to try and make it as symmetrical as possible, as there's no built-in benchmark for Doom. Oh, I'm gonna struggle with that acronym, I'm afraid. What's IHR? DM. Thanks, DM. If you could help me out with that, appreciate it. Oh, LHR, limited hash rate. Oh, I think they are. It should be, I guess, because it's the Founders Edition, and it's the new one. If that's what you're asking me about. Okay, you tell me it's running. Prove it. Prove to me. Show me something. Task Manager wouldn't lie to me, would it? Apparently it is. Not very well though. Okay, try again. I don't know. I might have messed around with the settings. Like I say, I presume it is the lower hash rate for the Founders Edition card. More than happy to check, of course, if there's an easy way to check. I don't know. I don't think we've got any serial numbers on the back of this one that would suggest. No. Oh yeah, here. Model PG142. Don't know. If you're into mining, only way to get a non-low hash rate card is to buy a pre-build. I guess you could also buy an older used one as well. I've got a one of the first 3080s in my other system, so that would do that. But I guess it just depends, doesn't it? Because I've heard that not all of them are going to be not all the models are subject to it, are they? So I did a little bit of mining on the 3090, yeah. I did a little bit on the 3080 over winter, which I may well do again, depending on how things pan out. But at the minute, I'm warm enough in my office. So we'll see how this goes for Doom. I am running Vulkan, which is not going to be great. I'll move it over to GL, OpenGL when I can. Can you benchmark this card on nice? This is the 1080, and I don't have the software installed, so that is going to be a not at this time, and probably not ever, because I don't have the card for that long, which is part of the issue. 1080 I certainly can, but not the 3060. Right, what's going on, Doom? Why are you so upset with me? What have I done to you? Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, I gathered you meant the 3060 Ti, but yeah, like I say, I don't really have it for a proper extended period of time, unfortunately. So it's not something that's on the docket for today. Right, how do I force open GL on this? I presume it's in. Doom 64, Doom Vulkan. Okay, well, does that just boot it in OpenGL then? Going to struggle to benchmark it while it's outside the system. Right, hopefully it decides to play ball this time. There we go. Much better. What are we running? Oh, still running on Vulkan. I guess we could run on Vulkan. I generally tend to oh, I don't know what kek means. Doesn't sound very nice though. I generally don't tend to do the video cards on Vulkan. Tend to do it on OpenGL. I don't think it really matters for the 30 series. They probably run just fine on Vulkan. But we can actually change the settings now, which is nice. So we'll go for 1440p again. Yep, which is fine. And oh god, I've got resolution. I don't know what game. I don't know what card I was using before with this. Must have been the 660 Ti, I reckon. And we'll go high ultra. We'll go ultra. Why not? Play Doom 2016 off and on, but mostly World of Warcraft Classic. Oh, okay, nice. I've not played the new Doom. Not played Doom Eternal yet. I haven't completed Doom. I just occasionally play the arcade mode for benchmarking. That's it. But I do like it. It's actually much better than I thought it would be. Probably one of the best shooters I've played, to be fair. Not enough for me to actually like play the campaign, but you know. Right, okay, we're in OpenGL. Very nice. It looks like we got. All right, which one do we want to do? We'll do this one. Whatever. I've never played World of Warcraft, classic or otherwise. But I like how sort of fast-paced Doom is. It's good for benchmarking. This is way too smooth for this monitor. Oh, what's the glory kill? Oh, there we go. So we'll just do a bit until we've bashed in a few things. Oh, until I get bashed in a few times. Oh. What do I have to do here? Oh, yeah. I like how the arcade mode has, you know, a good amount of interaction in it as well. I presume they're just sections from the campaign mode. Oh. Try to jump out on me there. I love the shotgun though. It feels so impactful, which I really like. Oh. Oh, I don't need a triple hit, do I? Right, down we go. Oh, snuck up on me there. Oh, what did I use my grenade for? No clue. I was trying to change weapon. Oh. Oh. Don't judge me, okay? I'm not very good. Nor do I profess to be, though, either. In my defense. Oh, yeah. Get that relic. Oh, no. Oh, okay. That was not my best, not my finest hour there. Have a grenade for your trouble. Oh, okay. Right, unfortunately, I'm going to have to take this call, so I'll be right back. Okay, back in the room. Bloody petrol shortage. DM, you should get a 3060 Ti pre-built. Best value and performance all round. Yeah, 3060 Ti in a pre-built would be good. I don't know what the prices and stuff are like. Managed to pick this up MSRP for one of my friends on YouTube. Not for me to keep, hence why I've only got it for a bit. But yes, if you can't get a card at MSRP, then a pre-built is almost certainly the way to go at the minute. Don't make me boot up Doom for 2060. You can do. Go for it. I mean, you know, why not? Why not? Have fun. Okay, so we will boot back up this one. Have a look. OpenGL. Gosh, okay. So we've got an average of 154.9 and a 1% low of 109.2. So yeah, you could run this at ultra basically. Probably should have done that. In fact, we might hit the cap for or did I run it ultra? I can't remember now. It'll retain the same settings, but anyway, the point is it'll probably hit the cap for the 3060 potentially. Okay, that's great. So the not penultimate. The next one is GTA 5 if it's installed, which is the issue. Update queued. What do you need? 3 gig update. What's going on? Okay, well, I'll tell you what. While that's updating, we'll do Left 4 Dead instead then. Isn't it funny? A channel that mainly is into RPGs has done 2 shooters for his benchmark and absolutely hardly any RPGs. But in any case, I guess that's just the way it goes sometimes. Left 4 Dead is going to be a little bit of an interesting one. We'll run it at 4K. I'll absolute max everything out, but it is really just supposed to be a bit indicative of the Source engine. It's my way of not having to play Counter-Strike Global Offensive for the benchmarks, which is generally what I do. Yeah, they do sell out pretty quick. The one I managed to get a hold of was, like, honestly, I got it like the moment it popped up. I got it, managed to get it and paid for it, and then by the time I was just curious to see if there's still any left. By the time I clicked on the link again after I checked out, gone. It is nigh on impossible at the minute. Have I heard of a band called Median? I have not. Don't think so. Anyway, what kind of music is it? Okay, 4K. Left 4 Dead in 4K. I'm running it. God knows what frames per second. We'll find out shortly. Yep, okay, that's all good. I'll make it full screen though. Just to make sure we get those extra FPSs. There we go. No mercy. Off we go. Lovely. So I've got this level down pretty well at the minute. The amount of times I've played through for benchmarking and stuff. I know obviously a certain element of Left 4 Dead is random, which is quite nice. So the runs do vary slightly in time, but yeah, I can pretty much blast through this pretty quick. I'm not saying if I was going to be a speedrunner I would pick this game, but it's got to be one of the ones that I would probably try. Okay, so start here on about 250 FPS. It should drop down a little bit. I might get a few stutters as well, actually, which I normally do find a little bit with, especially these sort of high frame rates. I mean, this is 4K, so although the game is incredibly old at this point. But, you know, I tend to run a lot of older cards, and for some, you know, this game is a chance for it to stretch its wings, flap its wings, stretch its legs, and actually put the CPU under some strain from the GPU. A little bit. Oh, I'm running that CPU-wise. I've got 90% on one core. It's only using about 4 cores, though. That must be something to do with the engine, though, I reckon. Have I heard of the Median brand? Yes, I have heard of them. Yep. Not had any of their products before, though, but I've definitely been interested because they do sell, like, their general specs of their pre-built seem to be pretty decent. I think they do laptops as well, don't they? They run with Zotac GPUs, no OEM crap. Oh, okay, you mean like Dell and stuff? Yeah, yep. I mean that to me is such a rip, really. Rip off, I guess. The fact that, you know, you don't even you know, get decently cooled, or like almost like it's almost like the GPUs are a bit of an afterthought at times with some OEMs. I've never really used too much the, you know, like the Dell ones or the HP owned ones, but they always look so just inadequate is the problem. I mean, the chips on them are obviously good, but you know, if you're gonna save pennies, I mean literal pennies, you know, by only putting in an aluminium heatsink with no copper, you know, what kind of capacitors are you putting on there? What kind of power delivery? I know it's got to be within spec, and I get that, and there's probably not quite as big of a there's probably more tolerance on what kind of cooling you want to add to it. But it just stinks of low quality, doesn't it? That's the problem. Zotac as well. Zotac are alright. I think I'd look at the Trinity lineup that they brought out, which I know is obviously their lower end one. But it didn't look so good. Specs are not. Okay. Specs are not no OEM. Yes. Yeah. I probably agree with what you're saying there. All right, so we've probably got a stupid FPS from that. It'd be interesting to see if, because there's an engine limitation of 300 frames per second, at least on whatever version of the source engine that Left 4 Dead runs on. So it'll be interesting to see if we hit that with the 3060 Ti, because I think we probably will. Oh yeah, I did it wrong. Yeah, that's fine. So 4K max. All right, lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Oh yes, I was going to do Three Kingdoms, wasn't I? But struggling for time now is the only issue. Okay, GTA 5. Wrong one. GTA 5. Can I run you without the update? 4.1 gig. Oh. Okay, you know what? Pardon me. We're going to miss off GTA 5. We're going to skip straight to Metro Exodus instead. If I can remember how to launch the benchmark, I think we have to go into the actual local files to launch the benchmark for this one. Yes, we do. Okay, so we're going to I'm going to see if the RTX one is the RTX preset's going to load. Can't imagine it will. I'm only going to do the one run, and then for the should we do RTX? We'll do RTX at 1080p. Yeah, because that's all I would want to do with the 3060 as well. If your machine does not meet the requirements for RTX DLSS, the game will override this setting to off. Oh. Okay. I'll tell you what. We'll run it, see what happens. There we go. What kind of budget am I on for what, DM? Oh, okay. No, there's nothing that I really want for an upgrade at the minute. At all, in fact. I think I've probably got probably waiting now for the next gen, I guess. So 40 series, or I don't think I'd get the new Intel CPUs. Probably not even the new Ryzen ones. I'll probably wait until the next generation after that. Benchmark is running. This is a impressive benchmark we got going on here. Okay, benchmark cannot start. Maybe it's because oh, there we go. Yeah, that's what you need. You need the Steam doodad to come on. No, I don't want to save my highlights of the benchmark. Thank you. Oh, you gotta love it though, haven't you? So in my just for reference, DM, in my main computer, I've got 5900X and a water-cooled 3080 as well. So I don't have any desire to upgrade. I did consider perhaps getting a 3090 or 3080 Ti, but as soon as I decided I was buying the water block for my 3080, I sort of left it there and more sort of gone for the gains of being able to have the cooler temps on the 3080. Okay, well, looks like you don't want to work. Okay. Rip me. Let's try run as admin. Don't know why that would make a difference. Stranger things have happened. Go on then. Try again. 4080 is next. Yep. That's going to be the one I would look at next as well. No. So probably look to water cool that as well. I think, you know, if you've got any sort of really massive high end, like 80 model or above, if you're not water cooling it, you're leaving a lot of performance on the table, which is one of the things that I do want to test out, and will hopefully be looking to test out with the 1080, because I do have a water block for it. So some of these results today will be used in whenever I end up doing that video. I don't know if it's like it's working because it's loading in the background, or it's just not working. .3080 Ventus. Okay, yep, I've got the. So that's MSI, right? Yeah. So I've got the Gaming X Trio. Not that it makes any difference now because it doesn't have the cooler on it, but effectively the same sort of thing. Yes, lower hash rate. Yep. Yeah. Like I say, potentially once again, as it comes into winter, I'll be mining again as well. It doesn't want to work. Okay, well we'll try extreme 1080p. See if it's just the ray tracing that was the issue. No. Well, I can hear it. It's definitely doing something now. Okay. So, no RTX for the 1080. Not surprising, actually. Considering the score it got on Port Royal, it probably wouldn't be any good. No need, just water cool CPU. Oh, see, I don't agree. Oh, I didn't hit the button. Okay. Too late now. Thermal pads is the way. Thermal pads on CPU. Change the. Okay. I don't know. You know, I think you get a much higher core clock. Obviously, using GPU Boost 3.0 from water cooling. You know, I know what the Gaming X Trio cooler is like. I can only imagine what the Ventus stock cooler is like. You know, mine was running pretty hot, trying to push it on air, I guess. But you know, with the water block, I don't see above 55 degrees, and if you can keep it sort of under 52 or so, you get to maintain the high boost on the core. Once again, I suppose it doesn't really matter per se. You could always underclock it, lower the power limit, I guess. Try and keep the temps down. But it all in all, it depends what you're going to do with it. If you're going to mine, I would definitely want it to be water cooled. For me, anyway. Like I say, to keep the temps down. Especially when you consider, you know, the RAM chips and the power delivery as well. Okay. What did we get? We got a max of 60, average of, gosh, tell you what, the Metro Exodus benchmark is absolutely punishing. Really is. Let me move my head in the way. I can see what's going on here. The GPU went up to 86 degrees. I'm going to run it again so I can get it tracked on the other one. I wonder what the CPU hit in terms of temp. Oh, you're not going to tell me. Oh, yeah. The Ryzen ones aren't updated on here. Let me load up hardware info. And I'll have a look at that. Water cooling for CPU and thermal pads for GPU. I'm guessing is what you mean. On that one. Well, CPU is only at 40 in the minute, so I imagine it'll probably be fine. Okay, let's run that again. I actually remember to hit the button this time. So we'll do the Extreme and the RTX one for the 3060, both at 1080p, like I say. 74 maxed out, that's pretty good, to be fair. Is that where you put in the thermal pads? Not on the core, right? I can't imagine thermal pads are better than paste or liquid metal, though. Unless it's the stock. Unless the stock thermal pads are. Oh, okay. Swap the pads on the memory. That brings your core temps down. Is that to do with like the thickness? Is it not making sufficient contact with the cold plate or something? The core and the cooler. To be fair, I've not really heard of that before. I'll have to have a look though, for sure. On that, but 74 would be fine if you're mining and stuff. Obviously, you're gonna see the full temps, aren't you? Doing that, so you would know. X memory runs hot stock without Allo SD. I feel like I should know what that means, but I've lost it. Might be interesting something for me to check though. To be fair, on my card is how good a contact my memory chips are making with my water block. Okay, we're about at the end of the benchmark, roughly, I think. Yeah. Okay. Right, I don't know if that one was better. That one was actually worse. Probably because it was a little bit hotter, but we'll take this one anyway. So we've got average of 35 point. Oh, what? Wrong one. 35.3. 21.5, 1% low, and that was 1080 extreme. I guess you don't. What's this? I guess you don't have free electricity. I certainly don't. You aren't mining right now. No, I'm not mining right now at all. Like I say, mining is a winter operation in order to help with keep the home office warm. That's the other byproduct. So we've got all the GTX 1080 scores on the doors, which I've been updating as we've been going through. We're going to get rid of GTA 5. So I'm pretty happy with that, to be fair. I'm not too surprised by anything, in all honesty. I think it did quite well. I think it's still a very competent gaming card, to be fair. Perhaps not so pivotal for mining. But there you go. Got two 3080s taking home $12 US a day. Oh, that's really good. Yeah, no, that's pretty impressive. What was I getting? I can't even remember now. I think, well, with Ethereum prices, it was doing Ethereum. With Ethereum prices, I guess it all depends, doesn't it? It can vary from one day to the next, but that's pretty good investment. I'm trying to think what the power draw would be on that, though, or cost of power for that. It's not too bad, actually. It's pretty good. Making pretty good sum if we're just comparing electricity to coins or Ethereum or whatever it is that you're mining. Okay, well that concludes the 1080 portion of the video, and that only took a really long time. Gosh, I need a break. after that. I will get some water though, is the one thing I will do very shortly. Okay, so we'll shut that down. And what shall I move to? Oh, if you got free electric, yeah, you can do what you want. Something I should have done at uni when bills were included. But yes, if you get free electric, that's and you make $12 a day, that's $12 profit. Well, minus the outlay, of course. Right. Yes, I'll just get a drink. 1 second, and then we'll switch it over. Put the 3060 in. Timber. Oh. Gosh. Thirsty work. One thing I didn't actually realise is that the Founders Edition 30 series all have a 0 RPM fan mode on them, which is very cool. Something that I'm a big fan of. Get it? Anyway. Tell you what, that is a toasty boy. I took this off as well, actually, and the back plate is functional, or at least it is for the back of the GPU die on the 1080. The other back bit doesn't do anything, but I still quite like this design. It's not very good in terms of cooling. Well, it's fine, but it does look cool, if nothing else. Right. Time for 3060 Ti to go in. I don't want to preempt any of this testing, by the way, but I've been very impressed with this card in my very short amount of time that I've actually looked at it. Okay. Oh, oh no, I didn't plug it in. That's a funny. I didn't quite do the tape on that one right, but there you go. Okay, 3060 Ti in. Sorry, 3060 Ti is in. Let's grab Mr. GoPro. Pro of the Go. Go of the Pro. Are we on? Are we not on? Are we ready? Are we not ready? Who knows? Ah, yes. Well, probably good timing while the computer picks up the fact that we've got different graphics card in. I think it has done that already, actually. Let me check. Msi Afterburner. Not yet. Okay, I'll give it a couple minutes anyway. Right, where was I? Here we go, back in GoPro cam. I need like a little big red flashy recordy button and some overlays. I guess if I was ever going to do this again, I've got a lot more time, something I could do. So there we have it, it's in. It was spinning, it's now not spinning. I don't know what else there is to say other than there you go. There's the 3060 Ti plugged in. And stuff. Close that panel. Nice static picture there of the microphone. So, yeah, I'm just waiting for the computer to detect, or MSI to detect we've got the 3060 Ti in, which we do. Very nice. Actually, I did bump up the core clock speed. So I'm going to stick with that because it did work. Right, let's switch over. You probably won't be able to see this, but you have to believe me that I have adjusted these settings, which is fine. I don't know where the temps stop. It probably goes up to about 50 before the fan kicks in. Once again, I said it earlier, and I'll say it again right now. I would prefer if there was a more aggressive fan curve going on for these Founders Edition cards. But nevertheless, we are where we are with it. Oh, and actually finally get the first comparisons now. I am looking forward to seeing how this goes. So we've got Firestrike. This is probably, oh gosh, my bottle of water is in the way. Probably going to be a wash. I mean, it should be a wash. I'll be honest, it's more the percentage that interests me than anything. Right. No, not Time Spy Extreme. Firestrike Extreme, please. Oh, Ultra. No, Extreme. Ultra. We did Ultra, didn't we? Yes, Ultra. Run. Okay. Off we go. I do think that the NVIDIA's decision to change up the Founders Edition cooler has been a big help. It's much better than the blower star with the vapor chamber. Like I say, I'm a big fan of the design, but there's absolutely no denying that this way is by far more superior. And then we'll let this run. So I can't remember what we were getting. I think it was around 15, 16 FPS, I think, for the demo. While that is happening, I'm just going to go and put the 1080 away. Ooh, right, how are we doing? You can't quite see the top corner, but 24, 25, yes. Oh no, sorry, 28, 19, 21. Yeah, it's struggling. But it is definitely night and day compared to the other one. This is almost viewable. In fact, most of the time it is viewable. See how it gets when we get into the chunky bits. Oh, you know what? It's still absolutely chugging. Incredible after all this time. Firestrike is just as tough as it is to run. Still looks good though. We're doing a lot better on temperatures. In this configuration, we're on up to 74 at the minute. Not quite as high core clock as I would necessarily like to see. We are over 1900 megahertz though, about 1950-ish. But I think if I was to run this to do a live benchmarking thing again, I would find a way to screen cap this, even if I only screen capped it at 1080p. And for most of the cards I benchmark, that would be fine. This is a rarity. Have the luxury of benchmarking stuff at 4K and 1440p. Oh. Getting frosted. Ooh. Only just. That fire sword is very cool. Probably way out of shot now, I imagine. Maybe not. Let's have a look. No, fine. Yeah, no, still good. All good. Yeah, I think this one is. I was going to say considerably better, but I'm not so sure. As much as I would like this to be close, in a sense, because obviously the 1080 is mine and the 3060 is going off. I'm hoping I'm not going to be too disappointed here. Really. Because it would be great to see a massive improvement over a 1080 in particular. Shame when I've got a 1080 Ti, because I think that would be a much better test here between the two. But I think more people are probably more likely to have a 1080, might be thinking about upgrading. I think if you had a 1080 Ti, I wouldn't bother with a 3060 Ti. I think you'd probably have to be looking at a 3070, maybe Ti. At that point, make it worthwhile. This one's running at a very cinematic. I love how they call it cinematic 24 frames a second, but yeah, that was a cinematic. Physics score now, which will hopefully should be the same for both. Doing pretty well, to be fair. The 5800X. Ryzen processors this generation absolutely blown my mind. Incredible stuff. Don't know how I feel about like the big little cores that Intel's working on. I have to wait to see on that one. They're certainly not going to send me one to test, but if they do, Intel, if you want to send me one, I'll have a look at it for you. I'm not convinced though at the minute. I'll wait until your 2nd gen, I think, if I'm going to switch back. Right, this one is actually, this is much better. This is considerably better. We were getting loads of screen tearing, jitters, all sorts of stuff with the 1080. This one actually is not playable, but it looks better to watch it. It looks passable. Come on then, give me that score. Ooh, not brill. Wow, who got a 12,604 with a 3060 Ti? That's got to be erroneous, right? That can't be right, surely. In any case, just over average. So there's a fair increase there. I will say I'll try and do something where I do the we'll do the percentage of all of them and see how it pops up. Okay, well that's I don't know, 10, 20, 30? No, not quite. 25%, I think. But once again, we'll do the maths and actually get the answers for it. So next one will be Time Spy, the normal Time Spy, which we'll boot into now. And then it'll be Port Royal even, which, yes, well, I mean, which isn't it's not even a consideration. That's the thing. So did the wrong way around. One divided by okay. You know what? I was pretty much bang on, I think. I have to see if my calculation's right or not. I need to sensor check it, but I think we're about right. We'll have a look. Not been paying attention to time spikes, so I do apologise. From 5564 to 7532. Oh, okay. I think I might have had it right before. Oh, gosh. Okay. It turns out I don't know how to do maths or Excel or anything. I'm a fraud. In fact, I've never known how to do it. Okay, so that's right. And then can I take away 100? There we go. Did it. Okay. Lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Higher than I thought. I thought it was about 25%. It turns out we're looking at 35% difference. Which is incredible, really, for Firestrike. I mean, of course, there is more to my benchmarks than pure scores. As in pure scores? No, we only use scores. I don't mean purely. I don't mean that at all. The scores are important, but I mean, in terms of raw frame rate numbers, frame timing is also important as well. I expect the RTX 3060 Ti to do better, though, obviously. All right, not bad. So just over average again, which seems to be about where we are sitting. So that will give us a 11983. We'll switch over to our benchmark sheet so we can see what's going on. And probably see here that we are looking at 35.37 increase. This is going to be the increase column, and a 47% increase on time spy. Wow. Okay. And now Port Royal. Yeah. Like I say, I was impressed that we got a score from. I don't know what that was about. Okay, very good. I was impressed that we got a score at all from the GTX 1080. But now we've got an actual RTX card to try. This should be, yeah, this should be different league. I will make, yeah, we'll also do the RTX as well for Metro Exodus. If I do get a bit more time to look at the 3060 Ti, I'll have a look at more RTX enabled games benchmarks if I can. Obviously, Cyberpunk being one, although I don't know. I know how that runs on the 3080, so trying to imagine it running on the 3060 Ti is a bit different. So we are getting much better frame rates. We're not getting anywhere near 60 though. Or like I say, I wasn't expecting to. If we can keep it above 30, I think that is what it is. I guess that would be. No, we're doing way above 30 now. Yeah, I don't know. RTX is nice and ray tracing is nice and all. I'm just not certain that it's worth the performance hit. IMO. I'd rather run without and run my card cooler or faster or not as much, actually. You know, difference between running at 100% or running at 50% for the same frame rate. But there you go. Must be the minority, I think. 50% was just spitball, by the way. I don't know actually. I've not ran any comparisons. Which probably would have been something I would have looked to have done if the Founders Edition cards are a bit more accessible. But I am glad to be having a go with the 3060 Ti. Probably worth noting as well that for the same price as you can sell your used GTX 1080 for, if you do manage to find a Founders Edition 3060 Ti, is not a huge gulf in money to step up. Well, we beat the average once again. Very similar. Similar thing going on. 7,156. Anyone want to guess what percentage this is? 300% higher. Well, yep, okay. No shock to me at all in the slightest. And now it is user benchmark time once again. We'll let it download and always switch off your on-screen display, or user benchmark will think you're trying to cheat it or whatever else it thinks. I don't know. I do think that there needs to be probably a additional ray tracing benchmark for user benchmark as well. Now that's coming in, we need to find a good way to differentiate between, at a glance, differentiate between the cards rather than just how many RT cores they've got. Because obviously AMD don't have any RT cores, yet they can still produce ray tracing to a degree, I guess. I don't know what I'm expecting this one to be. I think obviously higher, because according to user benchmark, the 3060 Ti is a better card than the 1080, which I believe we're bearing witness to it at the minute as well. Maybe what do they reckon? The 3060 was the same. 3060 was the same as the 1080 Ti, right? I think. Oh no, that's not true, is it? The 3060 or 3070 was the same as the 2080 Ti. Bold claims, really. I can remember why we got so hyped for it. And then reality setting, of course. Temper your expectations, as always. Lesson learnt for a generation there, I think. And my voice is starting to go. Lovely. Okay, so yeah, a decent step up. 155 for gaming, which is an increase of 32 points, or 26%, if you prefer to work in that metrics. Those metrics, sorry. Our CPU has gone up in score. It gains power by the second. 109%, 99%, like one of the highest scoring they've got compared to other people for a 5800X. Probably a higher score than my 5900X would get. Mental. Okay, very good. Happy with that. And 143. Way above expectations on the chart, which is nice. You know, relative performance is key. And once again, we are, just for that, we're looking at a 28% increase from my particular 1080 to my particular 3060 Ti, and actually above the high boundary as well, which is leading me to think that hopefully the overclock is stable, which we won't really find out. Probably Shadow of War will be one of the best ones to have a look at there, but in any case, that's pretty good, pretty amazing scores there, better than I thought actually. Okay, so what shall we do next? Well, we'll do it in the order that we started doing here, which will be Final Fantasy 15. Benchmark 1440p, high quality. Is that right? Yep. All right. I'm guessing this one will run full screen now, won't it? When we weren't able to do it on the last one. It's a bit annoying, but I don't envisage all that it playing too much of an impact on the score that they'll get in terms, well, relative score, I suppose. They didn't do anything. No. Why? What? Why? Oh, okay. Well, I didn't boot up CapFrameX, so that'll be why. Okay, lovely. There we go. False start there, I'm afraid. No. Okay, well, we'll take it from there anyway. I mean, oh wait, don't know why did I do Final Fantasy 15 anyway? Because we got the score, but it doesn't matter anyway. We'll use the time that we do have. Generally, games in terms of like frames and stuff follow a very similar trajectory. Yes, that's the right word. So we'll see how it goes. We're looking to be 62 average here, effectively. And I have no expectation for this, actually. In fact. Based on what we've seen so far, I guess 7,500 would be roughly what you would expect. I think if that does turn out to be the average, I think you can then like assume that hopefully this game has 0.1% or 0.1% at very close to 60. That would then make 1440p, you know, very good. That's my very good sign. Very good. Three in the O. no noticeable difference in it because obviously we're running still at around 60. I think actually, where are we now? We're at 32 already. Okay. Just knowing roughly where we are in the benchmark, I'm even more confident it's going to be in the mid 70s. I think. I think at that point we pretty much established the trend as well. Ah yes, fishing minigame, very good. Just like we're going to have on Skyrim very soon. I guess an extremely good looking game. Now the thing about, sorry, I'm smashing that. The thing about the Final Fantasy 15 benchmark as well is it does have a random element to it as well. The models in it not always in the same place. The attacks are not always in the same place as well. He doesn't call the summon in exactly the same place either. But then again, we're talking really minor issues or minor differences, really. We've hit 60 already. And we are now past the GTX 1080 score. So when this was still being supported, it gave you a comparison on the Square Enix website of where your score fit in compared to what they had benchmarked other GPUs to hit, which was quite an interesting comparison chart. Just as as an observer, but unfortunately that has thus since been taken down. So that's the thing we'll be looking at. He's so strong, he just nails it into stone. There's no issue. Gosh, I was wrong. We got the chance to hit 80 here, I think. Yep. Definitely. Okay then, well. Stop the benchmarking right here, there's no point. No point in carrying on whatsoever. Oh my goodness. $8361. Very good. 34% uplift. Wow. I'm pressing subtract. Oh, I'm pressing subtract on the wrong setting. How about now? No? Okay. Well, I sort of messed that up a little bit. I'm not rerunning it though. Oh, I didn't even run it with a 1080. Oh my goodness. Okay, whatever. Move on. Move on, everyone. So, next on the docket will be Shadow of War, which of course has its own built-in benchmark, but I will do the subtraction again. So I'm not sure whether we were running at very high or ultra. I put very high down because that's what I thought we were going to run at, but if it is ultra, I'm more than happy to change it. While that's loading up, I will quickly switch over back to the benchmark sheet so you can see what's going on here, just to validate a couple of the results as well. So here we've got our Time Spy, Fire Strike, Port Royal scores. This down here is like the rate of change effectively between the two. So yeah, 35%, 47%, 307% for Port Royal, 26 overall, which this is more important really because this can be affected by CPU scores, all that sort of stuff. So it is what it is. That one. But yeah, doing well so far. So what did I have it on? I did have it on very high. Yeah. Which has still got like a stupid amount of ultra settings on it anyway. Right, let's run that benchmark then. So average of 70.6 for this one. And a 1% low of 55.5. Actually a very good, very competent score from the 1080. And it'd be interesting to see how the 3060 Ti tops it. I can't imagine it will pull ahead enough where, you know, you would want to run it at 120 Hz or 144 Hz. But we should see the 0.1 and 1% lows. Why are you not working? I'm a bit confused now. Okay, so what I'll have to do is wait for it to boot up and go back into there just to make sure we are capturing the process, which I think is the key bit. A big concern I'm going to run out of battery again on this camera. We're coming up to that time. I do have one more battery ready to go, but that's about it. Okay, running process. There we go. Shadow of War. I didn't think I had to select it. I don't normally have to, but there you go. You can see it's already in the cache, so it's much quicker. A bit of a real hiccup there at the start. I don't know why, but it will more than even out. As you can see, the FPS started a lot higher here, 110 I think, or 150, well, 115 even. Sorry. Yeah, which I guess leads me to say it's going to be in the 90s, I guess. I don't think it will drop off. I don't think the average will drop off into the 80s. Might even be over 100 once we're done. There we go. Yeah. Wow. It's not too far off 120. I suppose the next thing would be, if I was going to go stupidly long with this video, would be to go see if it can hit 60 at 4K. Because I think for me that would be the big test. We had a drop of 1, of course, which sort of ruins the data a little bit. But we'll have a quick check. Analysis, please. Okay, 105 average. 105.7. 0.1 is not great. I think that's due to, which is why I prefer the 1% rather than 0.1%. That stutter right at the beginning, because it's so short, will have affected it pretty badly. But yeah, that's fine. I don't know if it would do. I don't think it would hold 60 at 1440, but you could definitely do ultra at 1440 with this card. I would suggest. I don't think you're going to drop more than 20 frames off of them. So yes, well, this is an even bigger win for the 3060 Ti. For Shadow of War, we're looking 44% for the 1% low. Even with that stutter, the 0.1% low would have been higher as well. And we've also got nearly 50%. I'm going to call that 50% increase for the average as well. What a monster. Gosh, I remember having a 1080 a long time ago and absolutely blown away by it, and that's when these games were still out. Okay, well, we'll switch back and we'll head over to Doomtown, I guess. Seems only logical to do so. Which involves me having to have input. So Doom, Left 4 Dead, and then 2 benchmarks with the Metro Exodus. The RTX one probably holds the most value. 1080p RTX gives us an actual real world RTX performance. Comparing the RTX Port Royal figures for the 1080 and the 3060 Ti is, I mean, I did it for fun, obviously, but you can't take any of that as as any sort of indicating factor of how well one card is to the other. It's you know, only targeting a very specific technology. I can't remember which one I went to now. Was it the UAE one? I think the one I've got a medal. The one I actually completed once, or killed myself to get the score, but I finished it. No, maybe I finished it. Any case, it doesn't really matter. Was it resource operations? It must be. I hope so anyway. Oh, I didn't turn the... Okay, yeah, we'll do that. And we'll also turn the stats back on, because we can do now. What? 1440p, very high. Okay, we'll check that that's the right one that we're looking at. Oh, why haven't I got 1440p here? Why have I got? I was thinking the screen looked a bit bizarre. Advanced Ultra, right? Oh no, it was Ultra. Yes, no, it was Ultra. It wasn't very high. Okay, well, all I can tell you is we're at the cap. 200 FPS. So I don't really know what to tell you for this one, other than, yes, very good. We are leaving performance on the table. 1440p, 144 Hz. Guess what? This is running perfect. I think at some point I would like to do a bit of a comparison with looking at the ultra-wide resolution, because something that I use quite a lot. Well, I use super ultra-wide now a lot of the time, but big fan of ultra-wides, and you know, actually having benchmarks for them, which is obviously 3440 by 1440. I think it's something like that anyway, around that. Would be interesting because it offers a bit of a different challenge. Of course, it's still not 4K, so it's not completely crushing. Oh, gone. That could be any of the overclocks. Okay, can I turn the volume down? It's going mad. We're collecting some. Then you can restart. Oh, okay. We're 100% complete, so I'll restart, shall I? Oh, my restart button doesn't work. I never plugged it in. Don't tell Bill. Still going. All right, let's unplug you. Oh, you're still going. It's like one of those massage guns now. So I try turning it back on again. It always did amuse me as to why the default for the controller is just to vibrate. Right, well, better try that again, I think. We did have a... Oh, yeah. I forgot to put these batteries in here. We did have a crash, or not a hard crash though, but we did have a crash with the GTX 1080. So I'm going to allow the issue with this one and try again. Like I say, I'm not sure if it could be a CPU. I recently messed around with that, although it did only undervolt it, so don't see why that would be a problem. And what's the other thing I did? Overclock the RAM. I didn't overclock the RAM earlier, but I have overclocked the RAM. Oh, wow. That's a bit slow. Why would you be that slow? 3060 Ti. We are detecting it. Oh, unless it's rebooted and then taken my zoom options, I guess. I don't remember changing them, though. Maybe I did. Who knows? Screenception. Alright, we'll turn the volume up to 1. I hope that we... Okay, so no performance drop. I'll leave the Reaver tuner metrics off. For now, we can always have a look at it after. One thing I will say is, yes, average of 200 frames per second, very nice. However, there's a couple of micro stutters here for some reason. That doesn't necessarily mean anything bad. I mean, it could be that it's hitting the cap, putting VSync on, probably help incredibly. I gave him a mid-rift bash. Very nice. I'll try and play things the same way, or pretty much the same way, as much as I can. Which is generally the done thing. Oh, that's a pretty nice headshot there. Aim assist is beautiful, as a beautiful thing. Ooh, big drops. Big drops. Oh, wow. Okay. Got some fireworks going on outside. Very nice. 25th of September. That's exactly when I like to do my fireworks as well. None for me in the office though, please. That's all right. Oh, we need to hit the sphere. And then we need to grab the relic as soon as humanly possible. Oh, I went down to silver. Poor showing. Oh, what? This guy got no chill. Have a grenade. Oh. Look at him over there. Taking the mick. Ooh. Alright, I think that's roughly about where we were last time. Cleared out this section here. So I'll end it. Head back to desktop. Okay, lovely. Not bad at all. So let's have a quick check of what we got. Yes, we did have some stutters. 1% was stutters, which I'd like to say I did notice, although easily solved by putting the VSync on for sure. Okay, so 1% low was 104.7. Like I say, affected by that stuttering, and the average was 188.5. So the first loss, if you like, for the 3060 Ti. Yeah, I can't really explain away those stutters, but that's with the stutters. Yeah, and then 21% higher on average. The least impressive one, actually. If it was this figure all the way along, I would say it's not worth an upgrade at 21%. But then again, we are talking over 144 frames anyway. So yeah, once again, 60 frames per second, 4K, ultra, more than doable, which is nice to see. Okay, on to the next, which will be the penultimate, Left 4 Dead. If this doesn't get an average of 300 frames, or roughly 300, oh god, that screen is absolutely tiny. What's going on here? What resolution am I playing in here? 4:3 as well, I think. Gosh, okay. Get me into that options menu ASAP. Oh, it's so tiny. Gosh, okay, options. I've done this a million times. Should be easy. 4:3, 16:9, 4K. Apply. Full screen. Oh, everything's reset. Yep, that's fine. Lovely. Single player, Msi Hospital. Off we go. Don't know what my time was, but there's probably some sort of a cheat or glitch you can do where you can like skip out the first half of this map by jumping off the roof or something in the right place. I don't know, making it up, but that's the sort of thing that the speedrunners get to do, isn't it? So it's not hitting the cap. As far as I'm concerned, if it doesn't hit the cap, that means this is still a legitimate benchmark. This is more legitimate than Doom. As long as we don't get locked at 300 frames per second, there is still value here. There you go, guys. You heard it here first. I'm not dropping the benchmark yet. Until I benchmark a 3080 at 4K, of course. No, I think probably 30, 37, anything higher than a 3070, and we are not able to run this, I don't think, at all. Some testament to the Source engine, though, that it's, I don't want to say held up, but you could easily run this 240 hertz, 4K. Unfortunately, you have to settle for measly 60 hertz at 4K. Not that you guys would be able to tell any difference anyway. Oh, I should not drop down there. It's alright, we're only on normal. It's not POG, is it? Endorphin, there you go. Using my new vocabulary to full effect. That text is very small as well. So you could go out and buy Back 4 Blood, or you could buy Left 4 Dead. Much cheaper. Oh, Hunter. No, Smoker. You guys realise you just ruined my speed run there. You'd have to get proper good RNG as well. Like zombies in the right place. Zombies near the door, never a good one. Okay, there we go. Done. Left 4 Dead. Smooth. Very smooth. Okay, so Left 4 Dead, we are looking at an average of 273. Oh, you let me down. I bigged it up. There you go. So 9.4% higher, 1% lows, and 20. Oh no, yes, yeah, and 16% high average. I mean, yes, you can't really draw any comparison from that. I did it because I always do Left 4 Dead. Okay, well, we've saved the best till last, or I guess maybe not the best, but the most appropriate until last, which will be Metro Exodus. Let's go Extreme 1080p, the same as we ran for the GTX 1080. So no favoritism there. Yep, controller, you can go to bed now. You have done a fine sterling job as always. And power down. Colin Steam, what's the issue? Promising signs when the fans start going. Even the 3060 Ti fans are spinning up as well. Okay, there we go. Have a little patience, everybody. This is why you don't run off a hard drive. Oh, I can only imagine what the RTX loading time is going to be like. Although actually it might be a little bit quicker because some of it may well be some elements of it will probably be stored in memory, which will help quite a lot. So let me check my camera, see how much battery I've got. Oh, down to one bar. Okay, I'm going to choose to take a tactical switch here. Well, that backfired, did not pay off at all. It's quicker. Oh, not that that helps me at all. Okay. Can I abort? Should I abort? Probably not. Right, well, let's try again. It should, like I say, it should be in memory now, so it should be a lot quicker. Isn't that right, computer? It should be a lot quicker now. Yes. Willing it as best I can. Now that, yeah, okay, yeah, much quicker. Night and day. So, judging by what I've seen so far, I'm going to guess we're going to see a close to 100% improvement, potentially. 1080 score, or maybe not 100%, but close to, was 35.3, so I guess we need an average of around 70.6. Would get 100% uplift. Few drops here and there. It does make me a bit concerned as to how the RTX one's going to go. But I think the extreme preset is actually more intensive than the RTX one. But this looks beautiful in any case. It's not, you know, nice. It's got quite a lot of the light sources and stuff, which is just sort of lend itself to being, you know, 1.4 RTX. A lot of screen tearing. And this is, gosh, yeah, this is painful. Above 30 for sure, but gosh, it's absolutely bringing this card to its knees, really. Must be flickering between 20 and 30 so much. And then here we go. Back up into the 60s, of course. And there we have it, a good few spikes as well, interestingly enough. Metro Exodus analysis. Okay, 49.7. It was really that outside grassy scene, outside the outbuilding, that really killed it. And then a 1% of 29.9. So if you like your games running at 30 FPS, then you'll be just fine. Big uptick as well, 40% pretty much on both. 39 and 40.7, 40.8, I guess, rounding up. Not bad at all. And then, yeah, last thing we can do is RTX. Good luck 3060 Ti. I don't know. It's got DLSS on as well, which hopefully will compensate for a lot of the, or a good amount of the performance hit that you get from RTX. But like I say, I don't know which way it's going to go. I've not really tested this like this before. Also interested to see how long it takes to load as well. Oh, I need to be on here, don't I, for this? There we go. So I'm going to get the overall average scores up, which is what I'm doing right now, 29.9. Okay, so I've got a bit of a conclusion. I've not got a conclusion over the RTX yet. We'll wait and see what the score is. I can't really comment if it looks better or not, to be fair. Looks much the same. I think the FPS might actually be better. Once again, utilizing DLSS, which I think is probably maybe the key way to try and sell ray tracing is, yeah, okay, it's going to be a big performance hit, but when you combine it with DLSS, you get this. You do get better performance because this is now going to be higher, which is interesting. But then, of course, you got to compare what's your extreme settings with DLSS. Does that then become an average of 60, probably, at 1080p? But, we're just here to look at the presets, really. I'm not really here to judge. Oh, gosh, I hope I caught that in time. Let me have a look, see if I did. I did, very nice. So, an average there of 73 FPS and a 0.1 of 41.9. So, yeah. Make of that what you will, I suppose. Much better than the extreme setting, but naturally, like, really using DLSS as a crutch. So I'll flip back over to my benchmark scores. So you can see the Metrics scores here for both. Don't know why that's even got a value in. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, fair enough. So if we're including the Port Royal score, we get a difference of 49.8%, so bang on near 50% increase from the 1080 to 3060 Ti, which I don't think that's the right figure. I think this is the right figure, 30%, which is obviously just purely based on rasterization increase in performance. Obviously, we do have, I think, the 30 series uses DLSS 2.0. I don't know if that is extended to the 10 series as well. But in any case, it clearly leverages it much better, as we've seen from the RTX ray tracing score on Metro Exodus. So yeah, it's a bit. I mean, I would run through the doing some comparisons on here, or from, if we just take like a Doom for example for both. This is quite useful on here, which I know you can't see. And I think because of the screen flickering, I'm not going to labor on it too much, but it gives you a bit of an idea. I will just switch over though, just to show you, because a lot of this will feed in. Oh no, not that one. A lot of this will feed into my. Oh yeah, there we go. a lot of this will feed into my eventual video on this. Like I say, the screen is mega flickery now. The more white there is, it seems to be worse. But so the orange one here is your, what's the orange one? 1080, and the green one is your 3060 Ti. 3060 Ti is smoother, but has more excursions, if that's right. Oh no, sorry, the orange one is 3060, and the 1080 here, yeah. So yeah, orange is more excursions, but you know, the Doom one is a little bit more difficult to dig out of. I think if we maybe do something that is a little bit more representative, so your Final Fantasy 15 scores, which I did get for both. In actual fact, you know, the 1080 had way more spikes. Admittedly, these two here are pretty bad for the 3060 Ti, but you know, in reality, the frame time isn't too bad. It's pretty strong, and the L curve is non-existent. So for this here, obviously is meant like can look like an L because of how it judges the frame timings, so 99 percentile. So with this being like not even an L, like a small curve. Oh, you can't even see it now. What's happened? Have we gone dark all of a sudden? Whoop. Right now. Okay, yeah, there we go. So with this L curve being like as flat as possible, that is a great score, and that shows you that the frame timings are really consistent. So Final Fantasy 15, 3060 in terms of actual performance is done a lot better. Not so easy when we have a look at Doom. I mean, for Doom, the 3060 is worse for the L curve because it is much steeper. So, and that's obviously something that you can, it's one thing to be able to articulate anecdotally that, oh, well, one feels better than the other, or one feels worse than the other. Well, why? Why does it feel worse than the other? And with the L curve, with frame timings, you can show that. Metro Exodus, like, you know, similar in terms of the L curve, really. Maybe not as quite a big an excursion, maybe like a higher peak, but you can clearly see the difference in performance. They follow the exact same drops on this extreme one, on this extreme benchmark, which tells me that it's pretty consistent, card to card, run to run. But you get the next step down, and that step down is worth 40% there. And anything under 20 milliseconds is good. And obviously this was one of the harder ones, I guess. So for that level, that's what you want to be looking at, really. For me, anyway. People think differently. And, you know, that's it. Hopefully I've been able to... No, sorry, that keeps coming out of focus. But I think we're done with that one anyway. So I'll switch over to just me now and finish up. So, yeah, that's basically... That's the gist of it. You know, you're looking at a 30% uplift from 3060 Ti to a 1080. And that is trying to give them their best go of it. Both are overclocked. Both were given the full power target. The 3060, which obviously, you know, there's lots of data we can look at for this, and I will be, you know, analysing it before I do my video on it. But let's take the Metro Exodus Extreme run. The max GPU temperature was 79 degrees, you know, which is much lower than we were seeing on the 1080. Under 80 is by far where you want to be with an air cooler. So it's good to see that what they've put in is adequate. Let me just check the RTX result as well. Make sure the two other temperatures were there, because that's also quite interesting. So that was 65. That was even less. That's with DLSS on. That's using the ray tracing cores, the RT cores even. You know, which provides us with a little bit of difference there. If we have, you know, if I now have a look at the 1080p temps, 88 degrees. You know, it's too hot. I don't think water cooling, I know obviously I mentioned it before with DM that, you know, we were looking at potentially there being you know, performance you're leaving on the table, especially with GPU boost technology that NVIDIA utilizes. And while that, you know, is the case, I don't think I would be able to make up the shortfall that I've experienced from the 3060 to the 1080. Now, I do have a water block, and it is something I do plan on doing at some point, comparing the 1080 against itself. But now I've got the 3060 Ti results, and I will pick up some more results tomorrow on this as well. I'm just going to turn this off. I don't know what's going on. I think the lack of light from outside has affected the autofocus a little bit. Yeah, will give me a much better indication of that. So yeah, if you do, and there's obviously the stream's been going on for blooming ages now. My voice is fitting in it, but yeah, if you do want to check that out, then that will be on the channel at some point. Probably going to be a while before I get a chance to actually put that together. Obviously, I've just spent 3 hours now, but usually those analysis videos do take longer than 3 hours. I do tend to do them at a leisurely pace, though, so I can fully get into the data that I'm looking at, which I think is probably the best, for me is the best way to do it. And yeah, I think that's probably about it for today. But I will thank everyone that did stop by for stopping by. If you're watching this later, for whatever reason, you're watching a 3-hour live stream that I did at a later date, thank you very much as well for stopping by. Lots of light, lots of talking. I've had enough of talking now. Oh, I'd hate to do this full time. That'd be painful. Anyway, guys, I can't actually turn off the stream because my mouse is not plugged in. As soon as it is, I will end it. I appreciate you as always. Thanks for dropping by. Thanks for sticking around, and I'll see you all on the next one, whenever that is. Bye for now.